And welcome back. This is part 2 of our LinkedIn clinic. I'm Simon Geere and I specialise in human resources recruitment. I effectively help HR directors, CEOs and managing directors hire the best HR talent in the southeast of the UK. Now, if you're tuning in today, hopefully you've already seen part 1 of this clinic. I'm just going to share my screen and remind you what's happened. So basically, in part 1, we looked at our LinkedIn profile. We created a great LinkedIn profile. We looked at photos and banners. We looked at the profile and about section of your LinkedIn page. We talked about background, work experience, skills, and recommendations and accomplishments. Now that session, which is about 20-25 minutes, is available on our YouTube channel. If you can't find it, drop me a message via LinkedIn and I can share it with you. However, today we are going to talk about more what you do on LinkedIn. So you've got your profile sorted, you're all dressed up, looking good. What do you do now you're at the party? So we're going to use the party metaphor. We're going to talk about who to connect with and how to connect. We're going to discuss your activity, engaging with content, liking content, sharing content. We'll touch on writing content, although that's a really big piece that is a separate session. And we'll look at LinkedIn groups last of all. So I expect the session to be, again, 20-25 minutes, and we'll be covering those topics. So first of all, the party. I mean, I see all social media as a party, effectively, in this case, LinkedIn. If you imagine you've been invited, which is obviously a great start, you turn up and you've got choices. You're going to arrive at the party and you're going to start interacting with people. You're going to get into discussions with them. You're going to agree with them. You're going to disagree with them and challenge them, and hopefully enjoy their company, possibly learn something and possibly help them learn something. Or you're going to arrive and stand in the corner and not talk to anyone, drink the free champagne and say nothing. And slowly people will stop saying hello to you. People will start to ignore you. You know the type. And really you'll start to question whether it was worth coming at all. So clearly we're going to look at plan A and make the best of being at the event, the party in this case, being on LinkedIn and start to engage with other people's content. Now, first of all, connecting with people. I don't know how many connections you guys have. I've been doing these clinics with people and I've seen people with as few as 50, as many as 10,000. I think I'm somewhere in between. I think I'm at about 8,000. And really, first of all, there is no other way of getting these connections than inviting them. So you need to send out connection requests to people that are relevant to you in terms of what you want to do, be that looking for work or looking to build your network. So in this case, if we are HR professionals, you are very likely to be connecting with other HR professionals and thought leaders and influencers, managing directors, CEOs, people that you would report up into, or people that perhaps would be reporting to you if you're looking at it from a career perspective. Now, you can just fire off tons and tons of LinkedIn connections. I think there's a daily limit. So don't be surprised if that gets imposed quite quickly. You can't just invite 5,000 people every day, and that would be quite boring anyway. You can use your phone, so you can invite people direct from your mobile, which is quite quick and easy. I prefer to do it right at the beginning of every day, so between about 8:20 and 9 o'clock, every day of my life, I try to send out 50 new connection requests to MDs, CEOs, and HR professionals in my geography. I don't just send the invitation. When you do offer to connect with someone, it gives you the opportunity to add a personalized message. So do this, basically. This is my advice. There are many, many different schools of thought on how you go about this. I'm just going to show you some examples of mine. So to make this easier for me, being brutally honest, I've got some examples. So I have a whole bunch of different text that I use when I send out network connections to people. And that way it appears personal. I drop their name in. It gets quicker, you get better at it. It took me an hour the first day I did it. I'm down to about half an hour now for 50. But you can base it around anything. It could be around technology. You can go, dear Matthew, we've never met, but I came across your profile on LinkedIn when I was researching people with expertise in SuccessFactors or Workday or iTrent or whatever it is. I was hoping to get your thoughts on HR platforms. Could we connect? Simon. That's a great, a great connection request. Matthew's going to have a heart of stone not to connect with you. We could simply base it around geography. Hi Matthew, we've never met, but your profile came up when I was looking for HR professionals based in the southeast of the UK, specifically West Sussex. That's where I'm based, and I'm looking to build my network out in the HR space. Could we connect, Simon? You can flatter people. You can say to him, Matthew, we've never met. Your profile came up when I was trying to find best examples of HR content. I see you've posted some really interesting questions on LinkedIn, and I'd be keen to connect with you and discuss this further, from Simon. You might simply base it around the industry that you work in. If you work in automotive, for example, and you see an HR leader or a managing director in the same field, dear Matthew, we've never met, but I see you're in the automotive space. I have 15 years working in automotive from an HR perspective, and I'm keen to network with other professionals who are like-minded. Could we connect? Thanks, Simon. You get the point, you know what I mean? And it's a good idea to write a few of these down, test them out, save them in your drafts or save them on a document as I have, and you can just drop them into your connection requests as you send these out. The other way, the other real obvious one is to just mention people you have in common. As you look at people on LinkedIn, you'll see, I mean, I'll show you an example here. We can sort of try and find someone that we know who potentially, let's just look up, who've we got here? This is Damien, who I work with. So Damien and I have 429 mutual connections. So great opportunities for me to say, hi Damien, we've never met, but I'm Simon, I work in a similar field to you, and I see we share an awful lot of people in our network. It would be great to reconnect, or great to connect with you. I look forward to hearing from you. So really simple stuff, if you know what I mean. Now we need to look at the step change program. Really, there are 3 steps here to getting activity going. So things we need to do, we need to, first of all, engage with content. So you'll see, again, I'm going to share my screen on LinkedIn. There is tons and tons and tons of content. Now, when you're a beginner, if this is new to you, and as I said at the beginning of Clinic 1, this session is really aimed for beginners, for people that have a LinkedIn profile, haven't done a lot with it, don't do a lot on the platform, and are looking to increase their network and get noticed. So find interesting posts is a great one from James Osborne, talking about a solution selling summit. You know, I could choose to like that. That's a real straightforward piece of work. You may find people that you want to work with. Here's Danielle, who works with me. She's advertising our new talent acquisition community. So again, I can like that, or I can choose to, you know, type in a comment here and just type something along the lines of, you know, great post, Danielle, looking forward to joining the community. So like comment and like content and comment on content, engage with it basically. The reason being is, one, you will start to appear in everyone's feeds. So as these people who posted this content are looking at their LinkedIn, your face starts to appear. It is basically quick, free branding and will raise your profile. Anyone else that has also liked that post or engaged with it and commented on it will see your profile, which gives them the chance to easily connect with you, and vice versa. You'll get regular notifications from LinkedIn really that tell you that someone else has liked a post you've commented on. Have a quick look at their profile. Are they relevant to you in your field? Fire off a connection request. Hey, Matthew, I saw you just commented on Damien Barnett's post about XYZ. It would be great to share our networks, connect, send, etc. So quite quickly, you can start to grow out your network. And really, I mean, the advice is to try and get out anything between 30 and 50 connection requests a day. That should give you at least 60 acceptances a week that you can work with and grow your network quite significantly. Again, I'll just show you this. This was something we looked at last time. As you look at your own profile on LinkedIn, you can chart your progress. You have a secret dashboard here where you can see how many, you know, how your profile is doing. So you can see I had a great week in the middle of June, and I'm struggling to keep up with it. So I'm down. I mean, this is actually technically about the second best my profile has ever been, but it has dropped. But you can measure basically how quickly and by how much your profile is being viewed, which is fantastic. So liking and commenting, all very well, quite labor intensive, but something we need to do after we're starting to connect with people. Step 2. Now, what you need to, well, one thing you can do, which I found great at building my network and basically making new friends in the HR world, is share other people's content. So what I'm looking to do in my line of business really is make sure that HR professionals, MDs and CEOs are identifying this with great HR content, so that they start to think of me as someone who, you know, has something to say in the HR space. Now, sharing content is very simple. And if we pop back to LinkedIn here, now you can see content just by looking at your feed on LinkedIn. You can also find content all over the place, basically. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of quick tips here. I use an app called Feedly, and I'm just going to show you that now. It's free and basically quite easy to use. So Feedly is a free tool. You tell it what subject you're interested in. In this case, for me, it's human resources. And then it updates in real time based on various websites. I've told it I want to pull content together. So here's a post from the Personnel Today website. Employers uncertain how long COVID measures will last. There's a nice picture. You can, through Feedly, connect directly to the website. Here it is. And if I happen to think that's a fantastic piece of content, there's a little add-on on the Chrome browser that I can click, and instantly it will, I can tweak these, so I can add in any hashtags if I want to. I can change the picture to something I want. As you can see, this is going to post out to both my LinkedIn profile and my Twitter profile. And this is going to use the second tool that I use, which is a tool called Buffer. Now, if I just show you Buffer, Buffer is, I'm not sure if they still do a free version. I have to admit, my version is a free version. There are plenty of alternatives. There is Friends Plus Me, Blog to Social, Content Studio, Hootsuite, Viral Pep, Proofer. There are tons on the internet. So look up, free Buffer packages. And basically you can see here are some posts that I've got coming out later this week. So this is coming out today at, 3 minutes past 8, very specific. Tomorrow I have another post about HR in a pandemic coming out 12 minutes past 8 in the morning. So if you follow me on LinkedIn, you'll see these appear tomorrow. Here's another one, HR addresses concerns over COVID's impact on pensions. Very interesting post, actually. That's coming out on the 3rd at 3:40. And as you can see, you can basically stack up a couple of weeks worth of work on Buffer. So again, I find the content on Feedly. You find it anywhere, find it on the internet, wherever you like, but Feedly pulls it all together, so I haven't got to look too hard. And then I post that comment from Feedly through to Buffer that then delivers it to my 2 social media accounts throughout the week. So really useful if you're going on holiday and you don't want everyone to know, and you still want to post really useful content. Really useful. I tend to do this on a Sunday morning and just post out a few days. I don't go 2 full weeks ahead because obviously the content dates and new content is arriving. You want to make sure you're current and posting out other people's content on relevant news issues. But it's a great way to share useful content with your network, and people will start to comment on it. You can, of course, comment back. You can ask questions, you know, how does your business tackle the below? Post a useful bit of content from Harvard Business Review. And you see your profile and your credibility rising. It's fantastic. So again, free branding, free advertising for you, great chance to build out your network. Step 3, and the hardest challenge of all, is to write content. Now, there are tons and tons of tutorials, both written and video or audio, around writing content. And I can't cover this in a short clinic today, but I can give you an idea of what I do and what I'm learning, because this is a journey that we're all on. And I'm doing some work with an organisation, Hoxo Media, who've helped me with 7 different types of content that are worth posting, and this covers everything from trying to teach your network something from your own expertise. So in my case, I'm obviously an HR talent acquisition specialist, so that gives me access to an awful lot of market information and to a lot of thoughts really from HR leaders, so I can share that with my network. There are sharing posts where you just tell people something nice about yourself to try and build out the human factor. It's not all about work, is it, at the end of the day? I think my most popular post this month was one where I informed my network I'd been for a bike ride. So, you know, go figure. You can post some entertaining posts. You can try and inspire, you know, make statements that make people think about what they do and question their values. You can champion your population, which is a great idea if you're looking to say something on behalf of an organization or on behalf of a demographic. You can make statements and ask questions. LinkedIn offers polls now. There's normally one in your feed somewhere if you look, so you can ask questions. Do you think A, B, or C, and get a vote out? I recently posted something about the CIPD qualification and how relevant it was, or how relevant people felt it was in 2020. And I think it was deemed a nice to have was the overriding comment, rather than not essential or essential. Or last of all, you can say something great about yourself. You can prove your worth to the market. You can comment on, you know, recommendations you've received or positive reviews you've received from people you've worked with. So there are tons and tons of things you can post about. You just have to look for the opportunities. But I definitely recommend doing a bit more research to get your confidence on posting. If you're looking to start from, you know, ground zero effectively, maybe share other people's content and comment on it first. So that's step 1 to 3. Now I'd like to cover groups. So I'm just going to take you back to my screen, and we'll look at groups. So let's just go right up to the top. As you can see, you've got a groups tab. So if you go to the find pane and just hit groups, we can search on groups. There are, I think, 2 million active groups on LinkedIn at the moment, and roughly 8,000 entering the playing field each week. So they exist, they're important, don't ignore them. And they're also free, which is very important. But groups are similar to Facebook groups. They are subsets within LinkedIn that you can join. You have to ask permission from the group administrator. And once you're in, you are part of a large population, and you can post and comment and share information and discuss, etc. And the groups are obviously themed. So if we're looking at, you know, I operate a lot in Sussex from an HR perspective. Oh, as if by magic, the HR Network Southeast, this is actually my group. So here's a group I've set up covering, you know, the southeast of the UK. I think, I'm trying to think how many people are in the group at the moment, actually. Let me just have a quick look again, sorry. Oh, I was hoping it'd tell me there, it doesn't. I think we're coming up to about 2,000 people. Here you can see content in the group. Damien's shared something about a mental health and wellbeing podcast coming. So there's tons of different opportunities. But the reason I mention groups, if we just look at HR UK, for example, and here we go, we're going to look at groups. Now, oh, our group, yeah, just under 2,000. Here's a really good example. So Human Resources UK has 18,000 members. So a first important point to make is people who engage in group discussions get an average of 4 times more profile views than other LinkedIn members. So if you're looking to times it up, you know, turn it up by 4 times, jump in groups because you get a lot more engagement. I think members typically join an average of about 7 groups on LinkedIn. But, you know, this is a group, if you're in HR in the UK, clearly there are some common interests. There's a targeted audience here. There are 18,000 members. So if you post a question in here, potentially 18,500 people are going to see it. Now, I'm not saying they're all going to comment or respond, but straight away, again, you can see how you can build out your network, engage with other people's content, ask them questions, compliment them on interesting things they've posted, offer to connect with them because you're in the same group. You could offer your services. You could offer mentoring, exec coaching, sharing best practice. It really is a great way of finding new connections with very little effort. I mean, a great thing to do, I think, is to ask questions relating to content, particularly if you see someone who is from an organization that you want to work for. So if you're really, really keen on working for Microsoft and you can see someone in HR or an MD or whoever from Microsoft have posted some interesting content, or even content that isn't riveting, comment on it, ask them a question, engage with them, connect with them. Somewhere down the line, you're going to have that opportunity to say, actually, I'd be really interested in discussing employment opportunities with you. Could you direct me to the right kind of person? It's a free hire. You sidestep people like me who obviously charge a fee for their services. So, it's a great way of making connections, basically. I mean, with patience and hard work, effectively, you can use LinkedIn groups to establish yourself as a bit of an industry expert, as a mover and a shaker. Whenever you see an opportunity to answer a question posted in a group that you're part of, take the time and respond thoughtfully. So, other important things, I'm just going to make a point. If you are about to do tons and tons of work on your LinkedIn profile, a good idea is to look at your settings, here they are, and turn off bits and pieces about notifications, sharing job changes, etc. So turn this off, change it to no, so that your feed isn't clogged up, or other people who follows you feed isn't clogged up with tons of work you're doing on your profile. So that's a great idea. Secondly, do keep a check on your, as I said before, your numbers. Look at who's looked at you, and watch to see your graph climb or decline, basically, based on views. So you'll start seeing, as you post content, a lot more views and a lot more people engaging with your posts, and the job is to obviously respond back to those, and you should see some great results. So to recap, treat it as a party. Join the party. In Clinic 1, we looked at how to dress nicely for the party, get our LinkedIn profile looking good, but now we need to identify who to connect with and how to connect with them. We then need to engage with their content, like their content, and share their content. When you're brave enough, write some content. And this feeds out to written content. You can create audio content. You can start to create video content. So there's tons of things you can do here, and that's really a session down the line. And then last of all, don't ignore groups. Groups are a really quick and easy free way of building out your network. So hopefully that's been of some use to you. I'd love to hear your feedback, your comments, to see if any of this stuff works, to see if it doesn't work for you. I mean, it's worked for me, but I'd really be pleased to hear from anyone that's got anything to say on the subject. Once again, a reminder, bit of a plug, who I am. I help MDs, CEOs and HR directors in the Southeast find the best HR talent and build outstanding people functions. So do drop me a line on LinkedIn if we're not connected. It'd be great to connect with you. This video will be available on our YouTube channel as well as in the group. And good luck out there, stay safe, and watch out for Clinic 3. Many thanks. Bye now.